Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my liquid and cream cheek product collection. So we're doing a little bit of a swatch party, mini reviews and insights and thoughts on each of the products. I thought it would be really fun so you can get to know my collection a little bit more thoroughly. If you watched my makeup inventory, you know that these are categories that I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed by. However, when I sat down and was swatching them and playing with them, it just reminds me of how much selection I have and how much opportunities I have within my own collection, because a lot of the time I just kind of get fixated on the products that I'm working on in my project pans, and I don't really remember or have like a lot of insight into the other products in my collection. So this was so much fun for me, and it really was a great chance to regroup with my collection. I was heavily inspired by a video that Emily and Max did, honestly, so long ago, back in the summer, I believe, where she just swatched out her entire cream and liquid cheek product collection as well. And I had recently been thinking about that video again. I've been thinking about it and wanting to do it for myself for so long. So a few days ago, I just pulled out everything, put it in this basket, and put it right here on my vanity in front of my face so that I wouldn't forget to do it. So today is that day and I'm really excited for it. So let's hop on into all of the swatches and all of the commentary I have on all of these products here. Let's kick it off with bronzers. This first one is the First Aid Beauty Bendy Avocado Concealer, actually. I have this in the shade 6. I like using this as a liquid concealer or as a foundation and concealer mixer because it provides a little bit more coverage. It is a gorgeous, very warm tone, and I find that it just blends so effortlessly with almost any other formula, whether I have other base products on or nothing on my skin, because it's truly meant to sit directly on the skin. So it's a really beautiful product, definitely very warm toned, but it is stunning. It's stunning for using actually as a bronzer. And next up is this Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer in the shade Baked. This is a traditional, more cream formula, and the shade Baked is a warm tone. However, it is not as orangey as that First Aid Beauty one. So this is for more of a natural kind of bronze. I definitely prefer this on my complexion in the winter time because it doesn't pull as warm as that First Aid Beauty one. You can see there the difference, but you can also tell in terms of the coverage, it's significantly less coverage. So it is more of a natural bronze, but it doesn't sit on the skin as seamlessly as something like a liquid concealer does, especially when I have hyperpigmentation or scarring. They do call this matte, but it sits on the skin with a very slight dewy, satiny sort of finish that just looks so skin-like and so perfect. And my third and final bronzer is the Oma Beauty Double Take. This is the shade 3 Fair Lady, and this is technically considered to be a contour kind of color, but for me personally, it works best as a bronzer. This is the deepest of the 3 options that I have, so this is definitely best suited to me in the summertime. However, I can sheer it out just by applying a very little amount or mixing it with a foundation or concealer. But it does provide such a beautiful, beautiful kind of finish on the skin. It buffs out absolutely effortlessly, and it looks so skin-like and so perfect. Let's chat about these Mauve Cream blushes next. These are so beautiful. You can buy these each individually and you can customize the palettes in whatever way you want, which is great. They have this kind of almost, I don't want to sound negative because it's not negative at all to me, but this stiff cream kind of quality that really allows you to be a little bit more buildable, and it offers this semi-matte finish, which is just perfect. It really has a lot of longevity because of the formula, and the impact just remains all day as well. So this first shade right here is called M70, which is like a dusty kind of pink shade. It is the most natural and wearable for my own personal preferences. It's such a stunning shade, and as you can see, because of that stiff formula, it definitely is buildable. You can see though how effortlessly it just blended into the skin with no issue. And then this one right here is called M75. This is a bright red coral shade, and it looks really intimidating in the pan, but actually once it goes onto the face, it is really, really beautiful. So you can see it pulls a little bit more pink, a little bit more hot pink than it looks in the pan. And it is stunning. It's that shade right there, by the way. So you can see how much more sheer and how much more wearable they become than what they appear like in the pan. That is such a beautiful color though, and I was afraid to put this on my face, but I absolutely love it now. This shade right here is called M71. This is like a raisin kind of purple plum shade. It's so, so pretty. This is like those grungy 90s cheek vibes to me for sure, and it's so beautiful on the lips as well for just a very sheer wash of color. Extremely wearable compared to what you're seeing in the pan. This kind of like slightly mauvey pink here is called M68, and here is a swatch of it for comparison as well. It's definitely the more purple kind of sister to this one here at the top. Absolutely beautiful, best suited to cool tone looks in my opinion for sure. And it is, again, one of those super wearable shades. You can see how sheer these are compared to what you're seeing in the pans. They just offer so much buildability and customizability as well because of that that pigmentation there. I love this formula. Next up we have this Merit Cheek color. This is in the shade Terracotta, and this color is really pretty. I think the name is very well suited to it. It's a slightly red, warm toned color. This is just a teeny tiny little product. I do like how minimal the packaging is on this and how easy it is to just kind of swipe onto the face. You can definitely apply this formula directly on top of other base products. However, one thing I will note is you'll see here, it is extremely, extremely dewy, so it can kind of break up other products, and it is so sheer that it kind of just becomes one with whatever else you have on it, or have under it rather. And you can see it like basically disappears even on my bare skin. There is a little bit of color payoff, and you can kind of build and build and build, but it does also have this super dewy finish. I think you can see that there. That just never really settles down. So this one is not a favorite from me personally, but I like the color in theory. I love the packaging. It just doesn't really suit my personal needs. If you only wear color cheek products and no other base products, you may really like this because it just gives the most absolutely natural kind of look to the skin. Just for me, it kind of doesn't give me enough oomph, you know? It is beautiful though. It is really pretty. It's just not quite what I'm after. Next up is my oldest liquid blush. This is the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Nectar. This color is gorgeous because it's like this slightly yellow undertoned peach color. And I love this packaging too. It just makes things so easy compared to sticks or pots or anything like that. And this color, this formula is well known for sure. I think a lot of people do rave about it, and it's definitely worth the hype that it gets, or like the recognition that it gets, because it's so effortless. Like it just blends so seamlessly. It still provides a lot of impact to the complexion, and I love this color in particular because I can use it as a color corrector actually under my eyes. And I can use it as a cream blush, or because of the type of packaging it has, I can mix this with bronzers and other blushes or even highlighters for my collection to give them more of a peachy tone as well. And I really enjoy it for that reason. And this color is just great. I've had this for eons and I have hardly made a dent in it, but I feel like I've worn it so much, and I would love to eventually pan this just given the fact that it's so old and it's so well loved by me as well. Next up we have this NYX Bear With Me Jelly Cheek color. This is in the shade Sizzlin' Sun, and this color is so pretty. It's very bright, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's this rich, warm orange shade. It's kind of got a bit of a bronzy tone to it, a little bit of a red tone to it, and you can see it's truly a jelly kind of formula. It's neither a traditional cream nor liquid. It's somewhere sort of in the middle. So you can see my fingerprint, but that will actually like settle down and it'll be completely flat looking again. This texture is very interesting. It's like a firm pudding almost. Sounds gross, but that's exactly what it feels like to me. So I can kind of stick my finger right through it, or I can bounce my finger on it, and you really don't need a lot of product. So the best thing is definitely to just like bounce your finger like that. But this shade Sizzling Sun is very impactful. It has a lot of pigment to it, and it's like, it translates to this very bronzy orange shade, which I think just looks so beautiful in the summertime. And I adore it. So you can see here, I'm just gonna layer it up a little bit more so you can see a little bit more of the color there. But this just blends into the skin really well. It has really great impact without being too much over the top. I don't think this color or this formula would be everyone's cup of tea, but I actually find it quite interesting. I have a lot of fun with it, and I think it kind of works as this like bronzer meets blush kind of product as well. And it sits on the skin absolutely beautifully. It blends perfectly into other products, and it doesn't ever pick up base products either. I really like it, and I've never really heard anyone else talk about this formula, but I quite enjoy it. Next up is this Ciate Dewy Blush. This is a glossy cheek tint in the shade Coconut. This name, fully apt. Everything about it is just so accurately representing what this product is. It is dewy, it is glossy, and it is sheer, but it's quite pretty. And this shade Coconut is kind of like a muted mauve nude. When I say nude, it's like nude to me kind of shade. And it's really pretty, but I do find this formula to be something that I'm not really drawn to that often, simply because I don't find it to be very conducive to like my everyday life, because it never really sets down. So it always has this dewy, balmy kind of look to it, which looks beautiful, but it's not super practical for when I want to go for walks or bike rides, or I just even wanting to just sit out in the sun. I feel like my hair gets stuck in it, or I don't know. It has this like flexibility to it that it kind of moves around throughout the day. You cannot put powder on top of this because it just sits down in really weird ways. So as much as it's pretty, I don't necessarily think that this is like a good everyday kind of product, but it is gorgeous for photography if you're trying to just do like a very natural, dewy, healthy skin look. It does layer really nicely on top of other base products. It doesn't pick them up, but it just never, ever will settle down, and it always will have some malleability to it and that balmy texture to it. But it is pretty, but as you can see, it's like a barely there kind of product. And next up we have this little mini of the Bite Multi-Stick in the shade Cashew. This is a discontinued formula. These were just sticks that you could use lips, cheeks, or eyes, but I've always categorized this as a cream blush for me because I don't typically use these products in multi-purpose kind of ways. And honestly, I don't really use this one at all. This is the shade Cashew, like I said, which is stunning. It's like a cool mauve beige kind of color. And for some reason, I just never reached for it, probably just given the small size of it. And it was a gift with purchase or like a point perk or something like that from Sephora. So unfortunately, I am pretty bad at remembering to reach for those kinds of products, but this color is really pretty. This formula is nice. It's not discontinued because it's not a bad, or because it's a bad formula. They're just discontinued because Bite ended up kind of reformulating their entire line, but you can see it's really pretty. And it's a stiff kind of cream formula again. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna have to start reaching for this. This feels nice. It is definitely stiff, but I think if I were to just go like onto the stick with my brush and apply it directly from the brush, not from this stick, it would actually just apply so well and sheer. And this is very nice. Dang. Yeah, I'm gonna have to start using this soon for sure. It would be nice to actually get that used up sooner than later, but that is just a gorgeous kind of neutral blush shade for myself. That's totally my kind of vibe. And yeah, now I'm so glad I swatched this because that is so stinking pretty. Another mini blush here. This is the Milk Makeup Lip and Cheek. So another kind of multi-purpose product. This is in the shade Work. This was a Sephora birthday gift a few years back. And this is a really pretty product. Actually, you know what? It kind of meets in the middle of these two formulas right here because it is more of the traditional stick formula, of course, but it does have more of a dewy kind of finish. And this is a bright pink. However, I do find it to be extremely wearable on my coloring because it does sheer out a lot, and I can actually layer this really well with powders on top or alongside other cream kind of products. It is really, really versatile in my opinion, and I've really enjoyed this. I reach for this actually quite frequently for lips and cheeks, but especially on the cheeks. There's something so effortless and nice about this formula, and the application is great for on the go too. I like this little stick as well quite a lot. And my last cream blush is a newer addition to my collection. This is the Melt Cream Blush Light in the shade Golden Hour. This product, I actually was looking at it for a little while. I was very keen to try this product in this formula, and it did come in the Melt mystery box that I got for Christmas as a gift. So I'm very, very grateful for it because it's this beautiful color that I've been very keen to try. It is a light peachy kind of shade with a sheen to it. So the blush light is like this hybrid between highlighter and blush that is just so beautiful. And this cream formula is definitely more of a soft emollient kind of cream, but I find that it works very well, but while also settling down on the skin, it's super effortless. And there's a swatch of it there. So it definitely is more of the peachy kind of tone, and it does have a sheen to it without being obviously shiny or sparkly. It's truly beautiful. It's very, very refined in its finish, and I just feel like this is super, super buildable. Next up, let's talk about some cream highlighters. This one here, I don't actually categorize as a cream highlighter in my makeup inventory simply because this has always lived in the like highlighter pans category. This is the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Blow Me Out. This is a bronzy, creamy product, and as you can see, I have used quite a lot of it. I have thoroughly enjoyed reaching for this as long as it's been in my collection. It definitely is a deep kind of highlighter for myself, so I wear it as a cream bronzer mixer or topper. I can wear this to kind of add a bit of glow underneath of my complexion products as well, and it's super, super pretty. It offers a lot of glow, quite a bit of impact, but it never looks artificial and it never looks like shimmery, but it does offer quite a bit of shine. I really enjoy this product in this formula. Unfortunately, it was limited edition, but it is a beaut for sure. Next up, we have this Merit Beauty Highlighting Balm in the shade Bounce. That is a very perfect name, the Highlighting Balm. It really has this dewy, balmy texture to it, and this color is really beautiful. It's a slightly pinky champagne sort of shade, and I feel like this is just so versatile. It works with a variety of looks. In contrast to the blush, I do feel like this kind of settles down a little bit more, and it doesn't like make my hair kind of get stuck in it, and it feels like it kind of sets into place. You can see here it's extremely sheer. It's very, very natural. There's no discernible kind of shimmer to it. However, it does have a lot of bounce back to the light. I find that this is just such an effortless product, and if you apply it from your finger onto the cheek, it doesn't actually disrupt any base products either. I do think it's the kind of product I can layer on top of other base products, and it is really beautiful actually, but it does not get near enough love for me. I oftentimes forget about this formula, unfortunately, and I definitely have to remedy that. This is another product that is oftentimes overlooked by me. Actually, very rarely do I reach for this. This is the e.l.f. Targeted Natural Glow Stick, sorry, in the shade Fresh Morning Dew. It is truly just a dewy highlighting balm. There is no shimmer, there is no base color at all. It's just a balm. I don't know if you can even tell that it's there, but it's right here at the more close to the wrist here. And it is pretty, but I don't know what I was thinking purchasing this. This is not really like anything to me. Like, I get it. Some people really like this kind of product because it truly just looks like extremely natural, like it looks like a glow from within, or like you're a little bit naturally dewy, but for me, it just doesn't give me anything. I can't even seem to show you it. I'm gonna have to figure out ways to work with this, maybe as like more of a lip balm, or maybe to mix with other products. Let me know if you have any sort of ideas for this one. And we're moving into more of the traditional liquid highlighters now. So the first one is a mini. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops Mini in the shade Moonlight. This is a gorgeous, soft, light champagne color. This is again one of those things that I got as a gift with purchase or a point perk kind of thing. And although there's not a lot of product in here, it is quite a lot for a sample size, but I always overlook it because I'm always reaching into my more full-size products, just given that I spent my money on them. So this is one that I'd like to reach for more, and especially at this time of year, I think it would be great because it is so frosty and it's so light. So as you can see here, it's so high shine that it almost looks like metallic on the skin. It's really pretty. But of course I wouldn't wear it this full on. I actually probably would wear it underneath of base products so that I get a little bit of that, but I'm able to kind of subdue it a little bit. That being said though, it is super pretty, and it definitely was the kind of highlighter that I'd be into a couple of years ago when I really was into that bling. But for now, I do think this is a kind of product that I could use as a foundation mixer or base instead. This next product is also a mini. This is the Josie Maran Argan Enlightenment Illuminizer. I believe this only came in the one shade, or comes in the one shade quite possibly, which is a soft beige gold kind of color. This came in a Sephora like clean set, and I have used quite a lot of it. It was unfortunately sitting on its side so you can't see, but I've used quite a lot of it. The pump on this is not great, so what I'm gonna do is actually just twist off the top. It is more natural in my opinion than the Cover FX one, but it still does have a lot of impact. It is definitely glowy. I think it's really beautiful again as a mixing kind of product. But this one does seem to set down quite quickly, so you kind of have to work with it a little bit faster than some other liquid highlighters, but there it is. You can see it's so pretty. It looks so naturally glowy. It's like more of a lit from within kind of liquid glow, and I love it for that. This next one is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Beauty Light Wand in the shade Spotlight. This color is good for me at this time of year. I do find that it's not my favorite in the summertime because it is a little bit too light. So do bear that in mind, that it works well on more fair skin, but not necessarily on like light to medium tan skin. It reflects the light really beautifully, very effortlessly. It's a much more like refined version of the Cover FX one in my opinion, much more natural looking. But I hate this applicator. It's just a foam sponge and it ain't cute. It gets so messy. I have it unlocked right now, but oftentimes I just kind of keep it locked, but it's just too grubby. I don't want to deal with that right now. Color is pretty. I am enjoying it while it's a part of my collection. It has this soft, almost slightly pinky kind of undertone champagne. It's very, very beautiful at this time of year, but yeah, not really one that I would recommend actually. And this next item is one of my newer additions to my collection. I am so disappointed that I haven't yet really put this to the test, so I can't really tell you too much about my feelings about this product, but I can still swatch it out. This is the Auric Glow Lust. I got mine in the shade Selenite. This is, I think, the second to lightest shade in the range, and it's beautiful. It is a soft, beigey champagne kind of color. I really like that it has that kind of beige tone to it, so it sits on the skin like very natural. The lid is quite tight, and I did know that going into it. I'm gonna try to do like a quarter of a pump because I really don't want to put a ton of product down, but you can see it is like a beige kind of color, and I think that's so great because it really just becomes one with my skin. I love the shade ranges of this, like how extensive and considerate the shade ranges of this. And you can see it's just, oh, stunning. It is so pretty. You can just see how seamless it is with the skin. I know some people have said they can wear this as like a full-on just one and done base product, and honestly, I feel like I could too. It's so So beautiful. And the last product we're gonna talk about today is this Melt Cosmetics digital highlighter in the shade, I believe it's called Fetish. Yeah, Fetish. I've not yet swatched this, but I'm actually super keen to play with this product. This was one that came in that mystery box as well. So I am really looking forward to it. It is a massive amount of liquid highlighter though, so I think this is the kind of product I'll end up using on my body. It's actually way more pink and reflective than I was anticipating. Ooh, I'm not sure. Maybe this would make a really great blush topper. Hard to say based on first swatch, but I thought it'd be fun to swatch it with you today. It's definitely coating my arm hairs in not a pleasant way, so that swatch is not the best. But it's way more pink and reflective than I had anticipated, but it does have this very sheer quality to it that makes it feel to me like it may end up being a little bit more wearable than on that first instance of the swatch. And I realized I had completely overlooked the Oma double take. So this is in the shade Fair Lady again, and the highlighting shade of this one is a beautiful golden kind of color. This is a stunning formula and a really beautiful texture as well. There is no discernible shimmer in this whatsoever, but it does offer a beautiful glow. So on me right now, it definitely pulls very warm. It looks very much golden, but in the summertime, this is definitely one of my favorites. Again, it offers this like glossy sheen that some of the other highlighter products in my collection do offer, but something about this one is a little bit more refined in the fact that it does seem to settle down. It doesn't seem to stay super tacky or too sticky, but it still offers that beautiful dewy finish as you can see there. And that, my friends, is my entire liquid and cream cheek product collection. I hope that you enjoyed watching this and just swatching out all of my products alongside me. I want to say a huge thank you for taking some time out of your day to spend a few minutes with me and to just play with me. Seriously, it means so much more to me than you will ever be able to know, I swear. But yeah, that is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.